painting Werther, which is so this is I
Making
believe it was,
butterscotch.
yeah, also
That's what I thought of.
it may also be by the same or similar folks. Did Alec? I have to check the totes, but the notes. But so this is based. I have notes here. Speaking of which, it's based on. I don't know if you guys know about Goethe. He was like a philosopher writer back in the 1700s, 18th
Yeah.
century.
We didn't really overlap much.
Yeah, he didn't hang out in the same spots.
Yeah.
So the book he wrote is Sorrows of Young Werther, and it's essentially like a series of letters, like people writing letters back and forth in these in novelizations became sort of popular on that. I mean, Frankenstein, a bunch of other stuff. And so this story, this interactive novel, is told much in that way. Essentially, you're getting told this Sorrows of Young Werther, but it's done so through these great big works of art from roughly around the same time period. Everybody from Van Gogh to, there's obviously you saw some of the marble stonework and granite stonework that was done there. But there's it's an interest. It's more of like it's like part hidden picture, as you can kind of see there, part interactive novel, part dude falling back, and you can see his junk, which is always a great thing. But what I really liked about it was the way what they're doing with this artwork, and you can kind of, I'm gonna stop it right here. Oop, I did not stop it. Ha. So the story is about this guy Werther, who this young guy who has issues in the town that he's in. He ends up moving to this other town. The first place he had issues because of love, whatever. Second, so he goes to this other town and meets this girl, starts to strike up a relationship with her. She's engaged, strikes up a friendship with her fiance. There's sort of this love triangle, and the story's told in the actual novelization, the book. It's told as he's writing letters to his friend, and so the letters back and forth and his communication. But the visuals are told through artwork. And I think what makes it really interesting is that, there's a scene, for instance, where he's talking about himself. Here are my inner feelings. Here's kind of the torment that I'm going through. And in that point, you're actually sketching, with I use a mouse. They don't have a touchscreen yet, which is really weird. But you use the mouse, and you're sketching out the line drawing for Werther, and then you put like a rough coat of ink on there, and then you kind of finish the painting. And it's kind of a cool procedural thing for some of these. Then you'll go through points where you're actually pulling stuff away. You saw that note there, which was kind of cool, which is, let's see, the note was, without you, I have nothing. And you're kind of chipping away. Oh, you chipped away at the blackness, and here's the darkness. Here's the guy standing there, but then it starts to fall apart. You're still kind of chipping things away, and he's looking down. It's just a cool way to bring in art and kind of tell this story. And part of the story, what they did with the art is you're sort of unraveling this mystery of why he left and the problems that are happening with his new love interest. But I really like sort of these subtle animations. This isn't a super long game. You can knock it out in a couple. And I think it's just kind of a neat way to tell these types of go into these types of books and stories and novelizations. Again, it kind of opens it up to a whole new different type of audience. I've never read this book. I probably would have never picked it up, but because it's being told this way, I was into it. I think they said they've been working on this game for like 5-6 years, so now they've got it out. And there are actually some really cool scenes. I'm gonna do it right here, and you kind of see it right this part right here. So you're actually painting and revealing this woodland scene, and it goes through like different types of art styles, different artists as it opens up, and it feels like that that Van Gogh experience that's been really cool that a lot of people have gone to. I went to that thing, it was really neat. So it definitely has that sort of high interactive art feel to it, which I really loved. I mean, it's worth it to sort of play this game, get the story, go all the way through, and then go back and just kind of re-experience it all over again. So I'm digging it. I don't know if it'll, it's not really going to hold my time after I go through the first time and maybe kind of hop back in it a little bit to kind of re-see scenes. But then I might actually be passing this on to my daughter to have her check it out and read this interactive book. And my wife might want to check it out later on. And my friends might want to, friends and family, like, hey, if you ever want to read this book and you don't want to sit down and read it, maybe you can do the interactive version of it. So no, I liked it. The audio is really cool. I've been playing it on the PC because it doesn't work on the Steam Deck, but I had the headphones plugged in, and it's great with the headphones. It's kind of designed for keeping, not using your laptops or your television's speakers. You should, and not even that like surrounds. You put headphones on and really get that experience. But yeah, no, it's cool. The art goes well with the points of the story, but it's not necessarily the driving factor, I guess, of the story. But yeah, it's just kind of neat to go through all that stuff. And again, Zach, it's something that I wasn't sure how I was going to get into it, or if I was going to be into it, because there was no artist named Werther, but I think this is a good way to experience this book. So yeah, I got a new appreciation for Goethe.